Okay, before we move on, I thought it was important just to understand how geo users are. So each one of you will have a geo account, probably by your Active Directory. I'm thinking that the system will be installed, so you will log on using your own username and password as you might for other applications. In the Active Directory domain, your IT department will need to create these groups. And you will be added to a selection of those groups, and that will give you certain privileges when you access Geo. Okay, so you will sign in, Active Directory goes away, looks at which groups you are, and then when you get onto the server and you open Geo, you can only do certain things. All of you will be Geo users. Okay, you'll need that to log on to the application. Chances are you will also be a web user. Okay, so we talked about the web publishing earlier. So you will be a Geo user, you will be a web user. The bit that is really down to mobile phone to decide is to allow everybody to see personal data, such as IMSI and IMEI, or not. Okay, and that then will dictate which group, SPI or non-SPI, you're put into. Okay, so SPI stands for special privileged information. Okay, and non-SPI is non-special privileged information. The privileged information being the subscriber details. Now, some of you might work directly with customer troubleshooting. I don't know how you're organised in your regions. In which case, you are definitely going to need to see the IMSI and IMEI, because without it, you can't do your work. Some of you may just be focused on RF analysis, perhaps, or radio performance, in which case you don't actually need to see the personal information. So your company may elect that you go into the non-SPI user. What that means is that when you operate Geo and you do subscriber analysis, the value for the IMSI and IMEI that you see will be encrypted. Okay, so you will have a string in there which will represent the actual IMSI IMEI, and you won't be able to decrypt that. Okay, so you can troubleshoot subscribers, and you will see a string in there instead of the privileged information. The SPI user, of course, will see the real IMSI and the real IMEI. If that SPI user needs to pass that IMEI to you, then what you do is you right-click the IMEI, and it will say copy encrypted value. So at that point, it will generate the encrypted output, and that encrypted output can be shared with the non-SPI user, who can then run the analysis using the encrypted string. Okay? Now, I don't know what mobile phone is going to do, but that's what may happen. Okay, so some customers do it, some customers don't do it. The two administrator tasks, normally somebody is identified, or a couple of people are identified as admin users, and they will be able to control such functions as when the scheduled templates run, they will be able to update lists, etc. Okay, so you will need to, if a list is to be stored in our supplementary database, then you will need to contact your admin user to upload it, okay, and make it available. So that's the concept of groups in Geo. Any questions? No, straightforward. But at least you know now how the security is organized. Okay. Let's close that down. Okay, now we're going to go on to today's Geo presentation. Hopefully that was informative to you remotely. I'll just present the screen. Excuse me. Okay, let's talk about what I've got in store for you this afternoon. I'm just going to write this on the board so we can track where we are. Excuse my handwriting. So for the benefit of those on the bridge, we have 3 separate sections to cover now, which will be driven by the candidates. So I'm going to get suitable candidate to the desk shortly. The first one is UMTS problem analysis. Okay. Second is LTE problem analysis, and the final one is analysis generator. So what's happened is you've gone through this week practicing how to use Geo. You can open a document now, you can set a filter, you have a rough idea of what analysis is available, and there are many that we haven't touched, right? We could be here for a couple of weeks going through each one of these. But you've got the key analysis now. The bit I didn't tell you right at the beginning of the week is that you can get the system to do some of this work for you. The reason I didn't tell you that was because straight away you would have said, well, that's what I want to do. So it's important that you know the analysis and what's available before we get to the point of starting to do some work, letting the system do some work for you. So, who's up first? Yeah. Somebody will drive here and I can tell them to.
Anh chị ơi, mình sẽ thực hành tiếp tổng hợp lại một số cái thông tin để mọi người học quen dần nhé. Thì sẽ có phần về tối ưu PTM và tối ưu LTE á. Thì anh chị nào lên để thực hành tiếp. Nó là chung các vấn đề tối ưu nhá. Mình cứ thực hành lại một lượt thôi. Có phân tích ạ, có phân tích cái vấn đề là trong PTM với trong LTE ạ.
UMTS for a second.
Anh làm chứ? Anh làm chứ? Tôi nói chung là làm sao để ra rồi thì bây giờ mình cứ làm thêm thôi.
Okay, so now we're going to look, first up, we're going to look at UMTS problem analysis. So you can see here that I've already selected the tab for you, UMTS voice subscribers. That's not the actual title of what we're going to do, but it's the relevant canvas. Within the problem analysis, what we're going to do is we're going to restrict the data area. So what you'll do first is you'll set a filter. I want you to set the filter globally here, and you can do that by dragging the little white square in the corner to there. Okay. Should be a little white. There you close that one there. So you click that, hold it, and then drag it onto the filter for that tab. Yeah. Merge the items here. Okay, so if you roll over that filter now, you'll see that you have a geographical filter applied. You should, if you roll over it. Okay, maybe you need to click on it. Oh, there you go. Yeah. So that tells you the time period we set. I set that. It tells you the RNC. I set that. And now you've added the geographic area to that. So any work we do now will be restricted to that geographic area. I think you've all got that concept. So let's have a look at UMTS problem analysis. So if we go to the top ribbon, go to optimization. Okay. And then on the left somewhere, which is hidden on the thing here, you will see UMTS problem analysis. Okay, that's it. Right. So this is your problem identification wizard. So this is going to go off and create some analysis for you. Okay. So firstly, we've inherited the document filter, so there's no need to edit that. You could, if you wanted to, you have a polygon created, and at that point you would just drag the relevant filter into here, the polygon, and that would update. Okay, so you could do that. You don't have to because we've got the area filtered here. So this tells you here roughly the area that we've got, and the width and height here. Geographic filter is there, and it tells you how many bins are in the area. So click next. It's starting to lag, so I think people are using this. Yeah. Okay, right. So, sorry, go back.
Yes.
Okay.
You see the time.
Yeah, okay. So, you can schedule, you'll see what's going to happen shortly. You can either schedule to run that. In this case, we're not going to do that. We're going to run it immediately. So, it is something that you can get to schedule daily or whatever, hourly, daily, weekly. So we'll run it immediately. Next. Okay, so this is going to tell you the problems that this is going to try and find for you. So you can see some of these thresholds here you can change, okay? But what I'd like you to do is just deselect the retrans, these three here, and just leave the block rate. Sorry, just leave this one in here, and just deselect these. Yeah. Okay. And I think you will need to tick that actually. Yeah. All right, and then deselect it. That's it. Okay, thank you. Okay, so now what it's going to go, it's going to find off the block rate percent, and this is the threshold. So if your block rate is above 1%, it's going to find these areas for you. Okay. And what it's going to do is it's going to look for these areas within the canvas and the geographical area, and it's going to create a series of polygons that show these areas where your block rate is above 7%. The default value is 10. We can leave it at that and see what happens. Okay. So if you click run, so first off, it's looking at the MOU analysis, and you have no control over that. It's used to help the problem area get its issues. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so basically it didn't find any particular problems with that block rate. So just go backwards again.
Change the threshold.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, that's quite low, isn't it? Try 0.5.
0.5. Okay. And
run. Let's see what happens.
no.
Okay, so it's actually calculating at the moment. This analysis here, and then it'll try and do the block here.
I think
Okay.
change.
Well, this is interesting because actually this produced results for me when I tried it. So you can just close it down just to make sure that I've set it up
Close.
correct. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll come back to that. Yeah, let's have a look. Okay, that's the voice subscriber. Let me have a quick look at the filter. Just to make sure I've got this right. I actually did a test run of this earlier and it's perfectly okay. So, here. 11th, box. Clear this. Okay, I'm going to try and run it again with the filter on the data. So I'll just run it over the wider area. Okay, so let's look at the identified problems, UMTS. Next, immediately, I'll look at the block rate again. All right, that's very odd because I actually had some results here previously. Right, yeah, thank you, well done, well spotted, well spotted, well spotted. Okay, yeah, that's right. So I've been caught out here. Actually, I need to update the filter here, the date time. It doesn't populate from the document. Okay, so that's a good spot by the candidate there. So it shows that people are learning something. So I can drag that filter on. Okay, I've got it. Here we go. And drop. Thank you very much for that. Okay, well spotted. Okay, I'll leave that to you then.
Yeah.
And in fact, what we can do also is put the geographical filter back up because that will restrict the area. So if you drag and drop the, so go backwards, go back. You can back again. Okay, now drag that geographical corner back into here. Okay, away you go. That's it.
Now, okay, next.
Okay, brilliant. That's well done. Thank you very much. So now we click on show selected problems in the map. So it may have been, maybe, that you genuinely didn't have any poor areas of blocks, if the network can never really be that good. So perhaps at this point you wouldn't want to go to the map anyway. So basically what you do now is expand the block right there. So do you remember you were told that it selected 10 polygons, yeah? So what we can do now is select the polygon of interest. In fact, we could select them all, so it's entirely up to you. But basically, we could go here and say, there's excuse me, an area of high usage, and yeah, not a very big polygon, but just select the PA1. The PA1 stands for problem area, so this is problem area 1, okay? And then click next. Okay. And then create canvas. So this is going to add a canvas into the geo document that shows you that particular problem area. So like I say, if you selected many of them, it will create the relevant canvas. What it's actually going to do, and we'll see that very shortly, is populate that with some other analysis that might help you with this investigation. So if you just minimize that for the moment. Okay, so here we go. Now you can see here that it's created automatically a canvas that says block break. Okay, and within this, it's showing you the raster map with a particular problem area, and it's also already calculated here the analysis results. If you just scroll down a little bit, okay, so you can start to look at the particular values on the raster map without having to select the analysis. It's populated the table of failure reasons, okay? So in this case, we haven't got a lot of failed, but there's our old friend, failure in the radio interface procedure again. You can tell this is a Huawei area because you'll see that a lot. There's other stuff it's going to have too. It'll have MOU versus time here and congestion versus time. And again, we're limited by our data. But yeah, you can see there's not a lot of use there. There is over that period of time, okay? So this hopefully will help certainly find block areas for UMTS. We don't have any other values in there. I'm not sure why that's the case, but it's useful for finding blocks. And like I say, it does give you a little bit of information to work with. So that's the ability to look at that specific problem and let Geo do the work for you. Okay, just a simple analysis, but it helps. Okay. If you click on, where are we? Just click on failure reasons again. I think that's. I'm just trying to find the to close the window down. Okay, that's fine. I mean that is literally the problem analysis on UMTS and the problem with blocks. Okay. Okay. Next candidate then. Can we have another candidate to do LTE? Okay, so you can close this canvas down now if you want. Just right click and close it. Okay, we'll go on to now. If you click on, sorry, my apologies. What's happened in the background is while you were doing this, is it's generated the other polygons on the map, right? So if you wanted to investigate them later, you could do exactly that. And if you expand there under the block right here, just expand that. Okay. And there are your specific problem area polygons. Okay. If we'd have exported all of those problem areas to the canvas, what would have happened was it would have created a new canvas for each problem area. So we would have had 10 canvases, and I didn't really want that to happen. But there you are. They're the specific areas of concern regarding blocks. Okay. Let's go to the tab exercise RF. Okay, I've created two polygons here. One is for problem areas, okay, like that, and the other one is for test analysis generator. They're just random polygons. I didn't pick them for any particular reason. Okay, so you can deselect those, and we're going to use them on our next exercise. So again, go to your top left, and you will see problem analysis LTE. If I remember correctly. Top left of the ribbon. Yeah.
LT problem.
Yeah, that's it. Okay. So this one here again, we're going to have to set the filters. Well done for spotting that. So we'll do that by just close this down a little bit, just so you can see the canvas. Sorry, you can see the canvas. No, just you can say no here. Just right now you can drag the filter that's here for the date. So you'll see that the little plus sign comes up when you've actually caught it. If you go back again, just hover over the filter on the tab. Yeah, just over the filter bit. Wait there. Yeah. Okay. Click and drag. Yeah, you need to hold the button down and drag it. That's it. Okay, that's updated. Now I want you to import the polygon for the test problem area, and you can do that again either by the edit function or just drag that polygon in, whichever way you want to do it.
Oh, this.
So that's it. Okay, there you go, and you can get a nice little graphic of the problem area. Okay, hit the next button. Again, we have the ability to schedule the LTE problem analysis, and I think there's a few more options for LTE. If you click next. All right, so these are the kind of things you can look at. Modulation schemes below threshold, block rate, drop rate due to low RSRP, so there we can identify coverage areas. So it's entirely up to you, but I would probably select one or two of those. Try the drop rate due to low RSRP, so just deselect the rest.
RSRP.
So you can deselect them all at the top if you want, and then just click that again.
Drop rate.
Go to low RSRP.
Low.
Yeah. And deselect the other one.
Deselect.
Yeah, deselect that one. And you can have a look at multi-drops or blocks if you wanted. I don't know if there's any in that polygon that you could try.
You try all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now, if you wanted to, you have the ability to modify these thresholds. And it tells you here on the right-hand side the description of that analysis. So once you're ready, hit run. Again, it's going to use MOU to help it make the calculations. So there's a few more selected here, so it will go off and it will try and find those problem areas within that that polygon. And that's why I restricted it to a polygon to make it a little bit quicker. But there's nothing stopping you running that countrywide if you wanted. It would basically look the 10 problem areas within your country, the worst problem areas. So most people wouldn't do that, they'd have a specific area. So that analysis will run, and again, we will have more or less the same function as UMTS in terms of showing the problems and the polygons. So we can show the problems in a map, so you can expand those now. Yeah, so here, expand those. Okay, so you can see in this case, it only found 2 problem areas. And just expand the drop rate to low RSRP. Okay. And you can select that as well. That should bring the two of them up. Okay. Yeah, I think you hold the control button down, you can select them both. As you might in a standard. If you use the control function, you can select it.
Select cả hai.
Select.
Yeah.
Select.
Or you have the option to double click it. Okay, if it's not letting you do that, just double click problem area 1.
Problem area 1.
Yeah.
Click.
Yep.
Okay.
You have double click.
Double click.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, so it's off the way. What it's done here is as well, it's selected problem area 2. So you could always double click that one as well. Okay, there you go. And you could actually close that down now, and you'll get a warning saying, do you really want to close this? Because you might have had multiple polygons and you want to come back and analyze later. In this case, we don't, so you can just hit the close button.
Yes.
Right, hang on a minute, let's just 1 second. Just say no for this moment in time. Because, and can you just minimize the window? See if we can find it later. And just, if you zoom out on the map.
Cho bé này. Chú nhỏ là
Yeah, let's just zoom right out to see where the polygons, where the problem areas are. Okay. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. So they're the 3 problem areas that it's created. What it's actually done is actually created the polygons and put them in here. Okay. So if we go back to the analysis, to the problem area analysis window, if we can find it, should be there somewhere. Can we find it on there? Is it another window we've just minimized? It should be around here somewhere.
không biết ở đâu đây.
Yeah, that's it. Okay. If you click next, and I think the next is not. So what we've done is we put the polygons together exactly. So what we're going to do now is we're going to create a canvas on this one. Okay, if you go back, previous page, now select deselect the multi-drop rate. Okay.
Deselect.
Deselect it. Sorry, yeah, my apologies. Deselect this one. Okay, and then let's go to. Do we have the upper calculator? Oh, it's okay. It's off. It's decided to recalculate the analysis. So it's just doing some recalculation. And you'll notice actually the reason you notice now this is a blue with the dot in it. Yeah, that means it's queued. Okay? Now why is it queued? Because when we selected the other problem area, that has now started to run analysis. Remember we were saying the earlier analysis is sequential, so that one will only start when these are finished. Okay? So you can see now these 3 are done. That will complete, and then that one will run. So let's do some magic, and then we'll see if we can create a canvas for the drop rates. View. Okay, you just deselect the drop rate again and leave the block. Oh, sorry, my apologies. Blocks we did show, didn't we? Yeah. Okay. Okay, so it's this one we want to see, not this one. Okay, so it's the drop rate here. Deselect that. Okay, and show selected property map. Click on this. Okay, and it should give the option to do next.
Nhiều phải chọn ở đây, phải chọn ở đây.
Không biết này. Ở đây không phải chọn đâu.
Okay, yeah, you're right. So my apologies. Yeah, that's it. Select that. Now you go next. Or spotted.
Nhưng mấy cái này có phải chọn không cần đúng không? Mình bỏ
Cái này.
Thế này cần phải
Okay,
click,
just-
double click.
Just select that. Just select it. Don't bother double checking it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Cái đấy vừa lên đất mà nhỉ?
Ừ.
Yep. So click that. Just 1 second. It's difficult when you're not controlling it yourself. So we've got that one. Show selected problems on the map. Should get the ability to do next. Why is it not doing that? Okay. Maybe I can't go backwards. Maybe I should have selected this when I first ran it, because it's not giving me the chance to go back now, is it? So let me just update this again. So perhaps I should have exported that right back at the beginning. P1 selected, show selected problem on the map. No. Okay. Apologies for that. I think that was my mistake. LT problems, edit. We can actually save these filters as well, by the way. We don't have to keep updating them all the time. So, for example, if we click the edit button and we'd already saved these filters, we could import them. So let's take that. There we go. And yeah, just problem areas. Immediately identify. So this is effectively a calculation of poor coverage, right? So now I've got
rất là vùng phủ muốn hồi cái.
Yeah, and now I can create the canvas.
Create canvas.
Yes, sorry, my apologies. Yeah, well done.
Không, cái là mình đang làm là mình tính toán lại đúng không? Lại các kết quả.
Okay, I'm going to close this now. Okay, so this one here has not picked up the global default, right? So it's opened a map canvas that's bigger than it should be. So really, it should pick up the global default here, but not to worry. What we can do is just go here and zoom to data extent, and it will go off. Actually, it's not run yet, so there is no data. So let me just wait for these to finish running. Control. So once again, it's going to populate the canvas with the analysis. In fact, while we're waiting, we can click on the voltage drop-down tab and have a look at that. Right, okay. So, as somewhat predictably in this data set, there's not a lot there, but you can see here we get a whole host of other analysis that you could have a look at. So here's your polygon. This is your block. We can scan through the other analysis here by going left or right and see what kind of information it's giving you to support your investigation. So within that area now, it'll start to populate to the cell labels here. So this is within the problem area. It's going to say which of my cells have given me the block rate. So it's identified the cells for you. If you click through the arrows, we can have a look at the other stuff. Just here. Okay. All right, so actually what we can do is, because it's all on the one canvas, we can scroll down and look at it. So you should be able to scroll down on the canvas on the right hand side. Yeah. So here we are ranking of cells, 2 cells. There's only one of them with the block. But if it was a more complex data set, then you would have the block location ranking. You move over to the right, again, it's a block, and I can't actually read this on the screen, but you'll be able to read exactly what's on that chart.
Có uplink, downlink này.
Yeah.
Data.
So this is
Uplink data duration.
the data duration, right? So we know that we don't
Nhưng mà
have
chẳng
data
có tất cả mọi
data files with this Huawei data set. Okay, but that's effectively Geo gone off and done that work for you rather than you having to pick analysis and use it. So it's a useful tool if this is the kind of troubleshooting that you're doing. And like I say, if you run that on a schedule, then basically if your job is to find these areas, one of your tasks is to find these areas, you could actually schedule that so it's done for you when you come in the morning on the previous day's data. Okay. The schedule will generally run on the previous day's data. There's probably not much use setting it to run at 2 o'clock in the morning on today's data because there won't be enough data to have generated or have a proper representation of blocks in the network.
bên này chị học xong rồi.
The one thing I should also point out here, remember that this is our test system, and that this box here that says advanced diagnostics, that is actually not included in your product. Further to that, I actually don't think we offer it as a product anymore. Advanced diagnostics required us, and it was on UMTS if I remember correctly. I remember deploying this in India many years ago. So advanced diagnostics required an additional server, and it generates its own database based on other events that get added into the call trace data. And what people have generally done is they've gone off and not bothered adding that. I mean, especially with UMTS kind of on its way out too. I think that's why we don't see it now. Yeah, so that's the kind of stuff in there, but there's no point in looking at it. As we, I don't know what data's in there, by the way, either. So, but that's the kind of thing that further deep dive into the area. Okay, you can close that advanced diagnostics, please. Yes. Right. Okay, so that's the problem area generation. And again, here that you've got these particular polygons that you can use with other analysis now in Geo to dig into those further with other analysis if you wanted to. Okay. Any questions on the? Oh, sorry, this was the other one, wasn't it? The low RSRP. Yeah. Look, here's a femto node, and you've got an area of coverage here that's slightly problematical in terms of RSRP. Now, again, on a more rich data set, such as your own, you'll be able to have a better view, better results from this. But this is essentially what you're looking at. So you will be able to find those locations where you are dropping below RSRP. Any questions?
Cái công cụ này ở đây ý của thầy là khi mà mình tạo được những cái template về những cái phần mà mình cần quản lý ấy, thì nhờ cái công cụ này thì mỗi hàng ngày ấy mình có thể vào mình kiểm soát được các cái vấn đề của mạng. Thì như ban nãy thì anh sâu lại em cái phần này với Identity đây, bất cứ một cái nào back đi, back lại cho em nữa, quên. Đây mình có thể nhìn thấy được các cái vấn đề xảy ra trong mạng của mình hàng ngày á. Trong cái nãy thì mình có kéo những cái phần kéo những cái polygon của mình vào trong cái phần phân tích này. Thì với mỗi cái polygon là một người quản lý ấy, mình quản lý cái vùng đó thì nó sẽ sâu hơn được những vấn đề mà trong mạng của mình. Từ những vấn đề này mình sẽ sâu như ban nãy là mình sẽ sâu đến cái drop trên map thì mình sẽ nắm được là cái chỗ nào cái vấn đề, chứ không phải là mỗi lần đào quét lại một lần và công cụ này nó sẽ giúp phân tích cái vấn đề nhanh hơn. Thì nãy thì thầy đã hướng dẫn làm cả phần USTM với lại Drivetest với lại LT rồi đấy ạ. Anh chị nào có muốn thử lại thực hành lại không ạ? Sau này mình sẽ tạo những cái template riêng của mình, mình cũng sẽ tạo những cái polygon riêng của mình ạ. Thì mỗi người sẽ vào
anh nhìn anh chưa nhớ được, không nhớ được.
Này có thể làm lại từ đầu nhỉ? Trong cái phần mỗi phần có cái
bây giờ là cái project cũ đúng không?
vâng, cái project cũ của nó là cái
bây giờ bắt đầu là anh phải làm cái gì?
Yeah. So if you want to try and run it again, just get rid of those canvases to stop too many canvases arriving because then we've got limited
trong phần
memory.
exercise đây anh tắt cả hai cái này đi, hai cái này là nãy là mình lấy ra rồi đấy. Thế anh vào cái exercise, ok không anh đây anh chuột phải vào đấy, phải anh cầu lâu luôn nhỉ, bên này nữa. Yes.
Có muốn
Anh cứ từng cầu lâu hết đi, ok đây vào cái exercise ở đây. Tại thì mình sẽ thao, ok anh tắt hết những cái này đi. Đây những cái kết quả đi.
You could, by the way, just delete this as well, so that will get rid of all the.
Có thể delete ở trong lạnh được thôi, nhưng anh cứ delete này, anh delete bỏ những này đi. Đây, delete chuột phải.
đây là cái
anh
sẵn rồi.
Vâng, anh chuột phải vào cái problem identity này, identify này, ok, delete luôn đi.
Không có delete.
Chuột phải.
Anh đây nhé.
Vâng.
Đấy nó có gì lên.
Thì delete rồi. Thôi anh delete những cái nào nào. Vâng, delete xem. Chuột phải. Xem.
Không có.
No. How can I delete it?
Just click on problem identification.
Okay.
And hit delete.
No, nó delete.
Yeah, just highlight it. You've moved the mouse. Click on that. Delete.
Okay. Yeah. Rồi ok, mình sẽ từ đầu mình chọn cái phần identity problem này. Ok, ví dụ mình thử với VSTM trước đi các vấn đề. Ok, đây. Anh kéo dịch ra một chút. Thì mình sẽ kéo cái phần cái polygon của mình vào đây. Mà mình cần quản lý.
UMTS as well. So you need to have selected the UMTS canvas to make that work. So don't do that.
Ok. Yeah. Không, cái này là phần LTE.
So just close this down. You're going to need it LTE.
LTE, ok. Với cái IF này thì là
LTE.
Vâng. Còn ok. Mình kéo luôn cái A này thế nào? Kéo cái filter này. Đây mình kéo cả cái pin đỡ size này. Kéo thẳng vào đây. Ok. Kéo. Chắc là cái vào đấy.
Yeah, remember you have to hover the filter itself.
Cái filter này. Thì cái filter này nó sẽ chứa những cái mình lọc ấy. Treo.
What happened there? Did you run it?
Maybe it's okay.
Okay. So just that canvas has just disappeared.
Không, bên này. Đâu ok, nó response. Ok được rồi. Để xem đã kéo thành công chưa? Chưa kéo vào filter thì chưa có màu rồi. Khi nào mình kéo nó phải có màu thì kéo lại. Không, kéo vào cái chỗ này. Filter. Ok. Kéo.
Drag.
Đi kéo luôn.
Click hold down and drag.
Click.
Yeah, you need to keep hold it and drag it.
Không, em bảo. Để nhá, mình sẽ kích vào cái filter này. Kéo vào.
Yeah, just give it a second to catch up because there's a little bit of lag on this connection.
Lag.
Yeah. Latency, I think is the word I'm looking for.
Ok, vậy là được.
Yeah.
Ok, thế thì mình sẽ nhìn cái template này, start vào ngày nào này. Ví dụ như thầy đang lấy cái template của thầy là từ ngày 9 tháng 10 năm 2018 chẳng hạn, thì của mình nó sẽ là sau này ví dụ mình lấy theo ngày ấy, thì mình sẽ kéo cái template của mình vào theo ngày. Cái này tiếp nhận.
So as we've only got no, this is LTE, isn't it? Sorry, I was going down a.
Sau anh sẽ kéo cái polygon của mình vào, tức là cái vùng mà mình take care về nó ấy.
You can try different polygons.
Ok, anh hãy thử cái dưới đi. Ok, anh thử cái dưới cái vùng và anh kích vào đây chứ. Ok, anh sẽ kích vào.
Yeah, you don't need to check. You can uncheck.
Không cần check. Cứ kích vào đây. Kéo cái dưới đi. Mình kéo thử cái dưới. Ok.
Polygon này là mình phải tạo ra.
Trước đó là mình đã tạo rồi ạ. Tức là
tạo thì vào đâu tạo?
Không, hôm trước là mình đã cắt ở trên map em. Ví dụ anh
how to create the area of polygon.
You want to create one, do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Vào map.
Just cancel the analysis down here. Just cancel it. We can come back to that in a second.
Yes or no? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Kéo map.
So now what you need to do is to go to the map. Yeah, you can see it's very laggy at the moment. It'll catch up in a second.
Đấy, ở trên cái map này mình có cái giải phóng to cái map cho dễ nhìn.
Okay, so just find you can zoom out on the map, find another area around Brussels to make your polygon.
Vâng ạ, tại vì mình đang phải team view sang Nhật xong lại team view ngược về Anh ấy ạ, về Mỹ ạ, nên nó bị chậm. Vâng. Không đi anh nghĩ là sau của mình thì nó sẽ nhanh hơn.
Yeah, just wait till you get that across and we can drag it. One second.
Okay.
Just let me speed this up for you. So once it's over the, I'm going to look in here. All right. Yeah, you could maximize it. I'm just going to try and generate. That's interesting. I don't know why it's brought this extra tab up here. Exercise RF. I think it's duplicated the tab there.
Reopen.
Could be that somebody else is using this this particular system. What I'm just going to do is I'm just going to close some of these analysis down to free up a bit of memory on it. Yeah, it's very laggy, isn't it? Okay, let's get rid of this. Okay, let's make this big. All right, so we're in the Brussels region here, I think. So let me just expand that out. Yeah, there we go. So you can create your own polygon within that region. There, we know we've got data, so I'll leave that one to you to create the polygon.
Tức là mình sẽ tạo cái vùng của mình bằng cái công cụ plane này. Anh chụp đây xem. Đấy ạ. Xong ví dụ như anh zoom lên, đúng không? Vâng. Anh zoom được, anh không zoom, anh thách ke vùng nào thì anh sẽ khoanh vùng đấy. Được. Khoanh động thành hình tròn, thành một hình kín, hình khép kín ạ. Không, đây, nó khép kín ở chỗ này. Không được, các cái hình nó sẽ không cắt nhau vậy. Thế em sẽ đến cái điểm cuối này là được. Lại đi.
Lại cái gì nhỉ?
Rồi đấy. Thành một hình kín á, thành hình đa giác lồi kín. Okay. Kết thúc là ở cái điểm đầu tiên đấy. Kết thúc là cái điểm đầu tiên của mình. Đây, cái điểm. Rồi, ok đấy. Mình sẽ tạo ra một cái polygon riêng của mình. Okay.
Đây đúng không?
Vâng ạ. Anh có thể đổi tên nó để cho anh sẽ đổi thành tên của mình luôn nhỉ? Rename thì cái double click vào là sẽ rename. Chốt lại đi.
You try to rename it.
Yeah.
Just wait, let it catch up a second. There you can type it name.
Ok, mình sẽ chạy lại. Open, reopen AF activity. Anh mở lại. Không, mình phải mở lại cái exercise của thầy cơ. Cái bên cái example. Không, anh vào file. Open. What about how can I open AF Kavan?
Yeah, it's okay. Leave it on that tab because I accidentally closed the other one down, so just leave it there. That's okay. So what are you trying to do now? You're going to look at the problem solver again, yeah? So yeah, just leave it on that one. It doesn't matter. It's LTE, so you can run it from there.
Anh làm xong phần này. Thì lại ok. Thì anh kéo lại cho em bộ lọc này nào. Kích vào cái chỗ lọc này ạ. Kích vào cái biểu tượng lọc rồi kéo vào.
So remember the lag. You just have to wait.
Chắc nó sẽ chậm một chút để anh kích vào đi.
Đây à?
Vâng. Rồi. Ok đấy, anh kéo vào trong này. Vào trong này rồi. Ok, khi nào ra dấu cộng là được. Rồi, anh kéo thêm cái polygon của mình vào. Kích vào là kéo như vậy, kích vào là kéo. Rồi, ok. Ok, rồi mình nhận nhé. Ok, inventory mình sẽ thực hiện luôn nhé. Đây là các cái vấn đề gặp lại trong mạng, mình có thể sâu một cái lên để mình xử lý ấy. Thì
Tức là các cái dưới các ngưỡng này à? Đúng không? Threshold 266 QIM dưới 5%. Block rate threshold. Đây là default là nó run này.
Không, anh phải chọn một ít thôi, mình chọn một cái thôi, chọn nhiều sẽ không chạy.
Yeah, you can select whichever particular analysis you want from there. It doesn't matter. But obviously, the more you select, the longer it will take to run the analysis.
Example, we want to choose the drop rate. Drop rate too low.
Sau khi ấy thì anh đặt cái ngưỡng cho nó. Tức là mình đặt cái ngưỡng để mình search ra những cái mà nằm dưới ngưỡng của mình. Rồi, ok. Mình sổ ra xem nó có những cái bao nhiêu cái, đây chỉ một cái thôi. Một cái thôi, mình có thể chọn vào nó để mình anh phải sâu trên map, sâu luôn. Anh biết phải đấy. Ok, mình cứ next tiếp. Sâu rồi. Sâu rồi đúng không? Sâu rồi thì cứ next tiếp. Anh next để mình nhìn ở trên map xem nó phải cái khu vực nào. Ok, click vào cái camera.
Là cái gì?
Đấy, nó sẽ tạo ra một cái canvas riêng cho mình đây. Đấy, cái canvas là về project mình tạo ra.
Okay, so you can see now that it's created the canvas.
Ấn đi để mình nhìn. Ok.
Yeah. So we created the canvas and now it's going to produce some results. And you can see once again in this particular version here, it's not finished yet. See?
Okay.
See the results are still running.
Okay.
So while we're doing that, we can actually go back and close these down. These are not related to close these performance measurements.
Okay.
So performance measurements there, just to let you know what that is. And again, I'm sorry about this. That's not something you've got. Performance measurements is where we ingest the PM counters, and what we can do is show on the cells. But again, most people, a lot of customers don't bother buying that. They just rely on the fact that we can generate the drops and blocks tables.
Nó sẽ sau cái chỗ bị cái drop của mình lên nhé. Thì khi mà mình có được cái này rồi thì mình sẽ xử lý tập trung vào cái này.
Cái polygon ban đầu nó đâu nhỉ?
Cái đây anh thu
nó hiện có một cái pixel.
Nó hiện một pixel.
Thế bây giờ tiếp theo làm gì?
Đây, khi mà mình có được cái cell nào mà đang bị tình trạng drop đúng không? Gọi là drop đúng không? Thì mình sẽ xử lý vào cái phần này. Okay. Bước tiếp theo là nhờ các anh tối ưu thôi.
As alone, you just to identify cells in the area. There you go. That's your analysis is run. You can get rid of that table. It's not relevant.
Mình có thể lấy thông tin từ cell.
Yeah, so there's your problem area. And if you look at it here, okay, you can then look at this. Sorry, my apologies. Just close this one there.
Close it.
Close that there.
Close the best cell. Close.
Okay, and let's look at the
drop location, right?
Sorry, so that's the drop location. Yeah, and then if you just untick the polygon a second.
Untick.
Yeah, so what's happening there is when you click on the map, it's trying to find the cells in that area for you. Right? So that's the problem with things get a bit laggy. No, don't drag that onto the map. You just need to tick this. You close this down. There's no need to drag any analysis there. These analyses have already been calculated. Okay, so you expand that, and then you can you can look at the relevant values in there.
Đấy, mình có thể kích vào cái này để mình xem. Ví dụ best sell
đây là đấy mà đang nói là đang drop
drop thì mình sẽ làm mình bỏ nãy là mình chọn hết cả cái này nhìn nhiều, còn chỗ này nó bị drop. Nếu mà lấy thông tin thì anh ấn vào cái chỗ kích vào cũng được.
So what's happening? You're using the select tool and it's going on the map. So it thinks you want to try. No, that is not the drill down tool. That's the select tool. Yeah, the drill down tools are up here. I'm not sure if you can drill down from there, but let's try it. Select call spider.
Okay, call spider.
Yeah. So these are tools up here. That's the select.
Okay.
So that arrow means you point to select in the map. This is the spider. Excuse me.
đây
Okay. So you've got
đúng rồi. Xoay gió đấy.
no here so called spider. Đây, kích vào đây, đúng rồi.
Yeah, don't worry about that. Just,
Đấy, xong chọn vào đây.
Chọn vào đây.
so off it goes.
Đây.
So this is the drop that we had. The segment wasn't very long. You can see it's an Apple iPhone 7 again. So that's going to go off and find the relevant details. You can scroll down there and have a look. The RF information will be at the bottom of that. We know already it's a drop due to low RSRP, right? So when we get to the bottom of that, we should see low RSRP. Let's see how low it went.
Thông tin nó đều nằm ở trong.
Yeah.
Very low
Cái này
RSRP.
thấp đúng không?
Yeah, and again on this, so these are the measurements in that we received. So you can see that the RSRP is degrading throughout the measurement.
Sâu rồi các cái cell.
Được, kích vào xem.
Làm gì nhỉ? Anh muốn sâu cái cell đấy.
Bây giờ ví dụ như đây drop rồi nhưng mà không biết là drop trên cái cell nào. Thì
xem là tôi tìm cell cho phải rồi.
Đây à? Đây nó có một list cell.
Are you going to do an RF footprint on the cell?
I want to know the drop cone, the serving cell before drop cone.
Okay. Yeah.
On the map.
Yeah. So so these are the measurements that it's getting. If you go back up here.
Đây.
Yeah. Right.
It's okay. Click on it again. Right. So scroll up here. Keep going. Scrolling there to the segment was. Scroll down a little bit further. All right, so this is actually a difference. So there must be a couple of calls up there. Why have we got that particular call there? Yeah, keep going. Okay, there you go.
Đây, global cell. Đây, anh chọn cái cell gì anh chọn cái cell. Copy
Select. Làm sao nữa?
Rồi vào chỗ location để sâu cell này. Kéo anh kéo cái location rồi. Location 4 giờ.
It's interesting. Actually, because the call spider in the background. You see that now you've selected that with the call spider. It's actually showing you the cells that are involved in that call. Okay. So if you zoom out, so you can see it was being served by this cell here. Okay, so they're the other cells that it's reporting in measurements, and the one with the green in it, that's the one that it was actually being served by.
Cái đường màu xanh là cái cell đang phục vụ, còn đo đạc ấy nó đo qua 3 cell. Nó đo qua 3 cái là cái gì?
Yeah, again, it's gone through that. So.
Còn cái đường màu xanh là cái cell đang phục vụ đây.
So you remember that's just the
this slide. This
there you go. If you just hover over it,
right?
just hover over the spider leg, it should show. Just stay still over it. Come down here, just there you go. See, just hover over the spider leg and don't move the cursor. There you go. No, you don't need to select, you just need to hover.
Chỉ vào.
Đấy, mình lên cái
There you go.
Đây sẽ thông tin cell label.
And you can also look at the other two reported measurements.
Black line, this mean
I think it's to do with the rank in the measurement report. You just it won't tell, but hover over it and it'll tell you which particular cell that is. Yeah. So this is where the call originated, and these are the cells that are in the measurement report here. So if you click on those, that's where you get the RSRP data. I have to look at the call flow to see what's going on. But yeah, just hover over the other two legs and you'll see. I think that's the ranking. The color scheme is explained in your manual.
How to show footprint from first time make code until drop.
So
The footprint from first time you make code until
you
drop.
want to track the subscribers.
Yeah. Check.
Okay. So go back to your layer 3 drill down.
Layer 3. Em có ở đâu nhỉ?
You might have to select it again. I normally expect to see something down here, but if you select the call spider again, just try. It'll bring it up.
Rồi ạ. Em chọn lại vào cái ok.
Kích à? Có cái gì đâu?
Kích chính xác.
Not respond.
Zoom. Zoom to.
If you want to get better granularity of that, that's it. Zoom in.
Zoom to.
Yeah.
Kích chuẩn là
cái gì đâu?
The layer 3 spider is somewhere there, and I think it might. Let's say normally when you use this, and the layer 3 spider minimizes, you'll see it down here somewhere at the bottom. Okay, but on this system I can't see it, so it's here somewhere. So if you just minimize that canvas. Sorry, my apologies. Minimize the canvas here. There. Yeah. Just minimize. Yeah. Okay. And then open the canvas up again. Because somewhere here, the layer 3 is hiding. There you go.
Okay.
There you go. Okay, so if you go to layer 3 on the tab, within the call spider, and then retrieve the whole call. And retrieve the layer 3 message. While this is running, it's 20 to 3, so we've been running for slightly over on the session. Did you want a quick 10-minute break? And you pick up with this when you come back. Is that okay?
An error.
Or you can carry on if you want. Yeah, don't worry about that. Just close the window down, do it again. I know I keep saying it, but you won't see this on your system, okay? And you may as well close the problem drill down as well. Okay, and drill down again.
Vậy thì trong cái thông tin đầu tiên, trong những cái tin nhắn đầu tiên thì mình sẽ tìm một cái.
Okay, so what you can also do here now is, remember we've got the ability to look at the RSRP and also just drag the window in there.
Kéo cái này,
Just drag that.
kéo vào. Ok.
Alright, just let it
Kéo
go.
lên trên. No.
Yeah. Just let it go, it'll sort itself out.
Kéo xuống bên. Nó ấn cái này. Kéo giãn. Đấy, nó hiện ra rồi đấy ạ. Mình kéo dài nó ra là mình sẽ để. Kéo dài cái tab này. Rồi, ok. Đấy.
Yeah.
Rồi.
That's it. Yeah. There we go. And then
Cái kéo rộng cái này dễ nhìn. Hoặc là phóng to.
The screen on my laptop is dreadful, right? We should see a lot more of this than we do. Again, you'll be able to view that. So what you can do is just close this one if you want. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. So there we go. You can see the.
Yeah, from first time.
Yeah.
Micro until drop. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there's a lot of stuff happening around here. I don't think the hover over there is good. And then if you make that window a little bit smaller and have a look at the map so that you can see the two side by side. Now, okay, you can see that. Where's it going again?
Okay.
Okay, just make it a little bit smaller if you can, so we can see the map. Just drag it in. Okay. All right. What I'm looking for is, yeah, just keep it going that way. Going. Right. So what I'm looking for, you just click here and just let me know to see what the drop down does. It automatically hides some things sometimes. But I'm just trying to find out where it is, because if you just expand that a little bit more, there you go, play. Okay. So really, this should go now and it should play, and you should see that updating on the map. So like you just drag it out slightly. Let's see what's going on. Okay, right. So that's the start of the call. Hit the play button. There you go. So you can see you get the opportunity to slow this down. So on your screen, you will have a bigger screen at your desk.
Yeah.
So the idea is you can run these side by side, and you can play that through, and you can watch that call and that subscriber. And if he's actually a subscriber that's moving, as opposed to just somebody that's come up with a drop, then basically you will see those points go move.
Này dễ nhìn nhé. Ok, cho nó chạy lại.
Nó ngắn.
Cái này nó chạy lại.
That's it.
Nó tốc độ nó chậm. Chân chạy.
Nhanh vậy.
Không phải. Rồi thế.
Okay, it might be playing very slow. Guys.
Có mấy chục giây.
Đâu hết nhỉ? Không thấy thay đổi gì, chắc là đang ổn định cuộc gọi này chứ. Thì đây là nó sắp đúng, hình như nó đang chuyển sang cái này, chuyển sang cái vùng phủ của con còn này nó bị drop dần.
I can't see the left-hand side of this, but I'm thinking that they were measurement reports as we went through it.
Ok. Đưa một cái nào này. Còn cái gì?
Okay, let's take a 10-minute break.
Anh chị nghỉ giải lao một chút nhé.
Máy của thầy chậm.
Không phải là máy còn chạy thôi mà do cái hệ xảy ra để từ máy nhận video ở xảy ra mấy chị không bảo cái Thai mango come from Thái Lan.
All the way from Thailand. This is a good one.
Em ơi chị có thể ăn em cầm lại đây nhá. Em biết là cái đấy dạ đây là phần này còn người ngại đi ra thì để về đó đi dạ cái đấy thôi đúng vâng thế chị ít năm hành em cầm rồi
Đi qua rồi có hai
Hi guys on the call, as you probably gathered, we were just taking a 10-minute break or so we'll see you shortly. Okay, guys, we're about to start back from break now. I'll share my screen. I think. So we've covered a lot of ground this week, but one of the points I must make here is that we really have only scraped the surface of what's possible, and especially with LTE, because this analysis has evolved considerably since I first started working with the product. In fact, there wasn't an LTE in there when I first started, and the initial LTE then had a basic set of analysis. And we build up on it because we work as a software company. The software part of our company works in sprints, so we deliver functionality per sprint, right? So we're ever looking for ways of coming up with different things and trying to keep up as things evolve. Now, speaking of evolving and the long-term evolution, what we've got in here is we've got a whole host of analysis that I could not barely touch in the week of this course, right? So we have things like the administrative analysis. Okay, let me just expand this. Now, not all of this is applicable on LTE on your system, because actually most of it is streaming. So really the bit we'll be looking at here is the streaming data loading chart. And this is basic administrative functionality. Let me just open a canvas and drag this out. So I need a chart for this. Basic uses for this are let me also set the filter, because remember I've got old data. So I'll pop this in here. By default, it will run on yesterday's data. Still got my connection lag. Let me just wait. There we go. All right. So what would happen is that you could check this to make sure your system was loading up to date, just something that you can do. What I often propose is that people actually schedule this report. I'll cover more on admin tomorrow, I think. I think that's a closed topic. But that's just an example of the administrative checks. Then we talked about the call table. We've used this quite a lot, mobility and all the rest of it. So we've been regularly in there. Connections also we've had a look at, because that's where you're going to derive the original individual connection segments and be able to troubleshoot a subscriber's connection. Data, there's a whole host of data analysis you can carry out. LTE is of course built for data, so therefore these analysis are very important for monitoring your performance of your LTE. And you can see here you've got maps and tables, throughputs, etc. Device management we kind of covered, but we can look at the device performances. We can make sure nothing's getting in the way of our network running nicely. I think I may have mentioned earlier in the week, I remember being in Bulgaria a while back, and we were investigating one particular cell that had a terrible drop rate, and it transpired that it was one particular device that was contributing to that drop rate. KPIs, we've kind of covered that as well, but this all the numbers we need to know are here. Cell KPIs. This is another good thing, good check too. So I'll cover this tomorrow. Network we've covered with the active network cells. Optimization we've covered with the antenna tuning. So we've covered a fair bit of ground. We can also look at some drop diagnostics tables here. So again, this will give you your release reasons, etc., and certain timings, neighbor performance KPIs on a map. Okay, in MOU. Some of these analyses carry similar sub-analysis within them. So this is quite a good one for call re-establishment. Points we've covered, but again, if you look at the amount of points that you can actually plot on a map, plenty of them, right? So the onus is on you really to work out which kind of these points that are most effective to you. We can look at performance. We've done that one. Sorry, my apologies. Reasons. We can start looking at the release reasons. These are normally tabular. RF. So this is the bit we didn't cover, which has been in a couple of years in the product. So this is carrier aggregation. So we've got carrier aggregation implemented in your network. Most of you have. We can actually now start to look at the carrier aggregation usage performance in Geo as well. Okay. So if any of the guys want to run this and have a look at it, by all means do so. We can also look at, oops, sorry. It's an RF, wasn't it? Yeah. So here we go. There's the carrier aggregation. We again look in the RF folder and you look at the amount of subfolders. We can look at MIMO. Yeah. So this is map representations of your MIMO usage. We can look at the measurements by cell. Most of these are tabular. Modulation scheme. So we can look at the download. This is a map again. We can look at the downlink and uplink modulation distribution. Perhaps you might be looking at areas of low modulation scheme use. Again, you're looking at areas that are probably suffering from poor CQI. Time in advance by cell, all these kind of diagnostic stuff you can look at. RF scatter. There's so much there to be had by looking through it, and I can't possibly go through all this analysis and give you that in a week. I'm sure you understand that. I'm actually still in the subfolders here of the RF, right? So you can see here there's an awful lot to do. Subscriber and sell, we've done roaming analysis. That can be important, especially around airports. So use cases for roamers around the airports. You can look at roamer failures, etc., how you might want to optimize your cells such that you capture the roamers given the choice. I'm not sure how roaming is implemented, but I've been in certain places where you could be offered a number of networks. I do recall also that the French turning up the RF power on the north coast of France, and their cells actually reaching the south coast of England. So people were being pulled onto roaming in France when actually the cell was 20 miles away across the water. What else? Time series usage again. Here we go. We could see what kind of utilization we've got. Whole host of things, and of course VIP analysis. So VIP analysis, I guess I'll cover this one tomorrow. We've got a morning tomorrow where I'll do some wash up. VIP is not minor, but the analysis is very similar to everybody else. We just manage our VIPs in a different way, and we also use the web server with VIPs. So what I'll do is I'll discuss the web server in the morning, and we'll do our wash up session. I'm tantalizing, I'm dangling 5G in front of you. That's NSA in that particular instance. But again, that's not part of your order. But of course, if you want, if you're rolling out your NSA and you want NSA on this as well, alongside LTE, I guess, I don't know what your plan is to close out your UMTS network to get spectrum, but this is all for the future stuff, right? There's plenty in there. There's plenty for scope for staying current and evolving with technology. Okay, so we don't stand still. We've also got SA. That's in a couple of places in Europe where we're doing SA. So it's exciting times. And in fact, the one thing we can say about this particular business of ours is that it never stops, does it? It's evolving. And that's why I've stayed in a job for the last 30 years almost, really, since GSM came out. So I hope you have long careers in telecoms as well. Okay, let's get back. Who was driving this analysis? Who's next? Who wants to finish this? Did they actually want to finish this off here? Any further troubleshooting on that particular stuff? Let me get rid of this. Okay, so before the break, we were looking at the problem analysis on LTE. I guess the guy who's running that's not back, is he? Or has he gone? Has he left? Has he gone? you got any more to do? Do you want to do some more, or should we move on? Yeah.
Nãy thì thầy cũng giới thiệu qua lại với mình tất cả những cái tính năng ở trong này nhé. Thì em thấy có cái vẽ thống kê, vẽ cái biểu đồ đấy về những cái kết quả mà mình đã phân tích ra. Thì anh chị nào lên thử để tạo ra những cái biểu đồ, những cái KPI cho nó trực quan này.
Cái giảm khi bờ bên
Đâu anh ạ?
control này trên bên phải dưới mà đâu đây dưới đây mấy cái chưa được đấy.
Không, cái chart này thì cái này thì nó là những cái mình kéo ra đây thôi,
nhưng mà chưa thể kéo vào
mình kéo thử xem nó là cái gì.
ở đây
Nó sai cho nó nhỏ. Sắp tắt cái kia đi. Ok.
Okay. So if you go into your data explorer here.
Alan, see?
Yeah, control to you.
Anything?
Yeah. Let's have a look at yeah.
Anything here?
Yeah.
Okay.
See. So you can see here when we have the red and the green, we can put things onto charts. Now, quite often, remember we've got no data in this system because remember saying about Huawei, call trace files, throughput files, okay?
Okay.
So we need the throughput files to have the data. But basically, what you would be able to filter that on the chart. And where are we? It's the chart.
What chart? Oh, sorry. Right. Right here.
Yeah, I mean any of these would do.
Anything here.
So remember, that's data against time, right? But remember that you've got no data in there, so chances are it won't come to anything. So hang on a minute, there is a little bit of data in there. My apologies. So I think that's the can't quite read that on here, but I think that's the rates. Yeah, data rates.
Okay.
Or are they the cells? This bit here. What does that say? What do they say? Okay, so you can't really see that because of the size. Okay, so this is uplink volume. So I can just deselect a few of these and see what we've got.
Deselect all.
Yeah, I think there is a way of selecting all, but I can't remember how. I think you can select them with the this here. Okay, so let's have a look what we've got. Nothing there. Okay, so that is
Downlink.
Average downlink throughput. Okay, so you'll be able to see this on your own screens. It's not that small. So that's average downlink throughput, and that is globally actually. So as you can see, there is not a lot of data in this network, but you can actually, again, you can filter that in here. So you can see each one of these has got a filter editor to it. So you can actually filter that chart for a particular cell, perhaps, or particular user, or any of the other filters that you use. And anything with these two bars on it, you can drop it into a table or chart.
Tức là cái chart này dùng để mình vẽ những cái biểu đồ mà mình trước đó mình đã phân tích ạ. Thì thao tác nó cũng đơn giản thôi. Đầu tiên mình kéo cái chart ra nhé, xong mình kéo cái nội dung mà mình cần thể hiện trên cái biểu đồ của mình. Sau đó là mình sẽ kéo cái phần mà mình phân tích trước đó cái bộ lọc này vào trong cái chart ấy, nó sẽ tự vẽ cho mình được cái biểu đồ cho những cái thông tin mà mình đã phân tích. Như thế nó cũng dễ dùng thôi. Em thử sang một cái tương tự như thế, em sẽ thử một cái label cái bảng ấy. Ok, mình sẽ đây là ra KPI này. Ok. Xin control. Không, cái này là trên map. Em nhập. Okay.
So section 3 is the bit where you can analyze the data performance. So basically the same kind of map display. You can look at cell data performance on a raster map. You can use data throughput analysis in a table or a chart in this instance. We can look at data versus time, and the usual filters apply: subscriber, cell, etc. And by all means, yeah, we've actually got a little bit of quite a bit of data in there. Well, a couple of subscribers. Yeah. So that's showing us in the bins where we've got the data. You can also look at data KPIs on the map.
Okay.
Let's try that. We haven't done that. Can we try that?
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, so just to reiterate for the three vendors, for Ericsson and Nokia, the data information arrives in the call trace file. And for Huawei, it arrives in a separate file. I think it's UMTS, clearly we haven't downloaded that. So you can see actually we have got a little bit of data in this, which I guess is meaningful given that it's LTE into data network. I probably should have picked up on that earlier. But yeah, you can zoom in there and have a look at the density. Just zoom into that area and look.
Zoom it.
Okay. Yeah, just that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You see exactly what kind of. I don't think we've got a lot of data in there, but drag it in, you can look at it. Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, you can zoom in further. Let's see what kind of densities we've got. Yeah, so you see we are picking data up there, but clearly there's a couple. I wouldn't call them hotspots, but if you don't have a lot of data in there, you can start looking at your data hotspots with this as well. Okay, we talk about here about this is interesting actually. I'm glad we picked up on this. So here about the data density, kilobits per kilometer squared. We can look at data duration, MOU, volume, throughput, all pertinent to operating a data network.
Okay, let me try. What is it? Legend.
That's literally just the legend control. So if you have some data in there, it might show if you drag the data in, maybe. But the legend is effectively the control.
Cái legend này sẽ dùng để kiểm soát cái màu sắc hiển thị ở đây.
I'm going to. Yeah, you can close that one down if you like. Get rid of the legend. Oh, right, now I'll come on to that in a second. Okay, so that's where I was heading to next. You so we're one step ahead of me then. Like I said, there's other stuff you can look at, carrier aggregation if you're interested. If you just close the legend window down, please. Yeah, I mean, obviously you've got these two here that you could.
Close.
Yeah, you can close those. Yeah. All right, so we can have an explore of this when we get the time, but there's one You can either carry on exploring that today, or there is one other factor in Geo that I need to explain, which is up there, okay? The analysis generator. So do we have a candidate who can run the analysis generator?
Okay.
Yeah.
Mọi người có thể lên thử lại cái phần phân tích giữa UMTS với lại LT khi nãy nhá, để thực hành cho nó quen. Anh chị nào lên thực hành dạ cái PDF sorry sir.
That's what we're going to do next. So Geo, I'll try and encourage you to do it. So Geo, we've got all this pre-canned analysis. Sometimes people want to look at the data in a different way. So we can generate our own analysis, or we can also use what's called a grid calculator. So you can just put a map onto there.
Calculator. Yeah. Calculator.
Oh, so just close that one down a second. Just drag a map controlling. So the grid calculator, this is our, just one second. The grid calculator was our original tool for manipulating map analysis. Okay. So what we need to do before when we run this is to run some map analysis. So I'll show you in a second. We'll discuss where this involves. This is a relatively simple calculator. It takes map grids, and what we can do is we can compare a map grid against another map grid, set a few criteria, and then when we run that as an analysis, it will generate its own grid, which is the sum or the difference or whatever you want to do of the two map analysis, and it will show that on the map. So that might be something like, find me 4 ECI nodes or 4 interference coverage where the signal strength is strong. So what we would do at that point is we'd run an RSCP or a power map, and we'd take that, drag it in here, and we'd look at the ECNO or ECI node or whatever, pull that in there, and then we would actually at that point make the calculation here and or X or not, and we can add a few things. So we build an expression out of the maps. I'll show you in a second, and then we hit go, and that then runs that calculation on those 2 map grids that we've already run and produces another map grid, which is the combination of the 2 and the expression that we want. Now, customers liked this, okay? So some advanced users use this regularly to get to the point they want to see, right? Others said, well, hang on a minute, I want more than this. So if you just close this one down. And what we came up with was the analysis generator, which is effectively grid calculator plus, okay? So we can do a bit more. So the functionality in terms of how we operate it is the same as the grid calculator, but this actually has more functions. So the basic functionality is the same. That's why we're going to do the analysis generator. So who wants to work the analysis generator?
Anh chị nào lên thực hành cái phần analysis generator này với em với ạ? Anh Dũng ơi, lên thực hành.
It's important that you guys do this, not me, because one, I don't use it often enough to be an expert, and 2, probably you will use it, and the next time I come here, you'll be able to tell me how to work it. So I'll give you the functionality, and you can look a bit deeper into it.
Cái này là chưa.
So, just before we run that, let's go back to the grid calculator, and I'll just guide you through. Okay, right. So what we've got here then, as you might imagine, once again we need to filter it. So just get my pointer. So we start at the top here where we say call an area mask here, polygon or map bounds. Okay, so we're starting to filter it again. This source grid box here is the grids that we're going to use to run this calculator or the analysis generator on. Once we've dragged those in, and we'll show that in a second, we then create the expression here that we're trying to build. Use the relevant operators. We can give it an output grid name, so we make our own custom analysis name, and then we hit the go button. And what will happen is you get some stuff telling you it's working. You just scroll down here. You just scroll down, see the bottom.
Chưa hiểu cái điều chi này, tính chi chưa hiểu tiếng cái điều
Okay. And then basically it's going to tell you here whether or not your expression was valid, and we've got some output. Okay, so we can close that down again. Right.
Em dở cái này không?
So what we're going to do is have a look at our polygons there. I think I probably close the one down. So go into find the area of data again. Let's run. Come on to call table analysis. Just run the call table analysis or RF analysis for best cell without any filters. Just run that. So go into call table analysis. I'm just going to find where the data is. That's all. It's nothing to do with the grid calculator. I just want you to run the best cell analysis. For LTE, best cell. No filters. And you'll find that under RF. So what I'm doing is I'm just identifying my area of data just to save us a little bit of time later on. All right, okay, so that'll be fine. Just leave that there. That's fine. Did you just start this running? Did you just did you just drag this in?
Let's make cái đuốc vào nó cần độ.
I'm quite happy for you to just run that. All I'm trying to find is where the data is. It's not important to the calculator. I just want to run it to see where the data is. Okay, zoom to data extents, and that you'll do that here. Click on there. Right click here. Right click. Okay, it's not. Just like, no, don't go into properties. Just back away from that. The lag here is causing us a bit of problem, right? So if you highlight that, it's going to take properties or something. So basically, what I want you to do is just deselect it. Just say select virtual earth, and then just click on that again. Just right click that call table data. Just right click it. So grabbing it. All I'm trying to do is to get to the data extent, right? So as you can see here, that's have we got any data?
Yes.
Okay, we've got some data. Allow me to select this. All right. What I'm trying to do is just to zoom to the data extent, but it won't let me do it. I can't see any data on there. Is it selected? Yes, it is. So let's deselect this. 1 second. Let's go back in here and let's go to RF. I'm going to run. Are we in UMTS again? Oh, no, we're not. No, we're carrying aggregation. RF. In best cell. Okay, there it is. So I'm just going to run this analysis, and then we'll see where the data is, and then we're going to restrict it by polygon. Yeah. mean, I'm pretty sure it's Brussels anyway, but I'm just trying to, before we produce a polygon, the least we need to know is there's actually some data in the area that we've selected. Now there's Brussels. Okay, so I'm pretty sure there's going to be some data in there. So what we'll do is we will make a polygon. I'll just kill that analysis for the time being. Okay, so make yourself a polygon within reasonable sized polygon within Brussels. Yeah. So,
polygon của nó đúng không? Cái anh vẽ nó kia nhỏ nhỏ nhập cái sẽ hình thành cũng là cái gì á, có những người môi không bỏ gì nó bây phải là nó đứng anh thấy mình nó bên qua không phải làm đúng lòng rồi nó không phải xích đâu, không kích lại một lần nữa đấy, sẽ kích lại lên trên một lần nữa rồi cái vẽ to đó.
if you're having trouble seeing your polygon, there's nothing stopping you just deselecting the network layer or just reducing the numbers. I mean, that you can kill GSM, UOTS, NR, femto, okay, and that just clears the map up a little bit. So if you want to zoom in on that a little bit more, okay. So there is a reasonable polygon there that you've made. So just deselect the network there again briefly. Just deselect that, and we can see what the polygon looks like.
Alright, deselect.
Okay. Right. So basically, you've got all of Brussels. Okay. So I'm quite happy with that, but it will mean that the analysis will probably take a little longer to run. So let's run with that and see what we've got. I guess we haven't got a lot of data in there. So we'll use that polygon. So this polygon here, we're now going to use that to restrict the area in the analysis generator. So before we use the analysis generator, what we need to do is to run the analysis that we want to use in the generator. It's logical, right? We're going to run some analysis, and then we're going to reference that because we're going to generate something else from it. So what I want you to do is to run, and I think it's in RF, run the nth best cell RF KPI. So drag that to the map, nth best cell RF KPI. No. What I want you to do is to run the nth best cell RF KPIs. Nth best cell RF KPIs. So you'll find that in the RF folder, which is on your left.
Best cell.
There we go. Drag that one.
Rồi cái đi kéo vào bảng hả? Anh kéo vào bảng map được.
Okay, and then cancel that analysis. It will start running.
Can đúp vào cái đầu này. Can.
You can either do it from the canvas up here if you don't want to find it. So click on canvas at the top. Up there.
Stop running.
And stop running analysis in the active canvas.
Rồi stop rồi. Rồi sẽ kéo cái này xuống.
Okay. Right. The next analysis I want you to select. Run the call table performance KPIs. Call table performance KPIs. So again, you're going to have to look here for that. And that is in the call table folder.
Call table.
Yeah.
Này,
Yeah. So look, the
data
call
KPI.
table performance KPIs.
Perform KPI rồi. Anh kéo vào map. Đó là kéo vào map nhé. Hình như thầy muốn để tính toán cái calculator này phải.
So again, that ran very quickly, but we'll be running that shortly, so don't worry about that. I just want to explain something before we go one stage further. Why is this called the call table? Okay, well, I'll tell you. Geo, back in the day, only a few years ago now, used an Oracle database. Okay, so the user had to go out and buy Oracle licensing, and Oracle licensing is based on a per core. So if you've got big servers with multiple cores, like our servers have, you have to pay license per core, okay? And it's quite expensive. Within the Oracle database, we had two areas. We had a call table with the details of all the calls were published, and we had a summary table where we pre-canned, where we pre-ran analysis to produce summaries. When we moved our architecture to NitroDB, which is our own architecture based on open source components, so with NitroGeoDB, there's no longer one database server with a load of storage. We have multiple servers in a cluster. Okay, so we write across the cluster. It's striped is the wrong word, but the data is loaded across the cluster. So basically, if a server goes down, one server goes down, two servers goes down, you still have access to data, albeit a little slower, right? And obviously, if more servers go down, eventually you won't be able to access your data. But it's more resilient. And if you want to increase storage, you buy another server, so you increase the performance of your cluster. When we did that, we dropped the summary tables. So we no longer have summary tables in Geo. We still have the call table. So all our analysis now, by default, runs only on the call table. However, we didn't want to go through this particular system and start changing all the analysis names. Yeah. So we kept the name call table. So that's what it refers to, the big database table in Geo. Okay, and that's why it's called call table analysis. Yeah.
Này giải thích cái lưu trữ còn nhiều cái server thôi.
Okay.
Những cái nóng là
So
cái
what
call
we're
table
gonna
này
do
nó
now-
sẽ trước nhiều nhất, tại vì nó sẽ là cái dữ liệu summarize. Đấy, còn những cái dữ liệu kia thì nó sẽ lưu được ngày thôi. Thì tắt anh bỏ hết cái này sẽ là một cái nói nữa.
Right. So what I want you to do now is to filter the call table analysis and your nth best cell. I want you to filter it with your polygon.
Yeah.
cái cell polygon kéo qua đúng không?
Okay. Drag that polygon on. That's it. Drag the next polygon.
Next.
Okay.
Chạy chưa?
And also, yeah, so it needs to be on both of these. That's right.
Kéo vào cái trên.
Dạ.
Okay.
Okay, great. Okay. So
Hiện tại nó hiện.
what I want you to do with the nth best cell, our KPIs, is I want you to open the P. Sorry, just close that down. Open the parameters on that particular analysis.
Parameter.
P. Parameters.
Chữ P.
Click on parameters.
Chữ P.
Okay. Okay. Now we can modify the parameters in this. So we can actually look at, I'm not going to change these, by the way, so we can work out whether or not we use log or lin averaging methods. Cell ranking method is by energy. I'm not interested in that. What I am interested in here is the nth best cell to show, because what's happening is by setting it to 2, it's not showing you your best cell, right? Which is normally your server. Yeah. So what I want you to do now is to change that value to 1. Okay. That way, that analysis will now show you the best cell. Yeah.
Chỉnh số
This
đấy.
one here.
Chỉnh số. Có thể là phải.
Type 1.
One.
Yeah.
Hai.
Okay. Yeah. So you can type any number in there, but it will look in that bin and it will find that ranked server in there. Right now, in that bin, I want the number 1 server. Okay. You'll see why in a minute. Okay. So everything else can stay.
Cell ranking method.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Leave it as energy.
What's the energy?
So that's looking at the energy reported in that particular bin. Okay, as opposed to these values, which are the mean calculating the mean RSRP or RSRQ. Okay, and this is the ranking method. So all we're looking at is the spectral energy, if you like, in that bin. So we leave the energy for this at the moment.
Okay.
What's going to happen is it's now going to calculate those KPIs for the best cell, but based on our standard method. Okay, so we can leave that there. We can do minutes of use, RSRQ. There are other ways of doing it, but the standard one is what I want, which is energy in that bin. That's what I'm looking at. Okay, and this will run. We can have a look at those KPIs when they come up. There's probably one other filter I should have set there actually. And again, I broke my own rule. Can you just hover over the call table performance KPIs? Just hover over that filter and see if we've got the frequency selected.
We can see it.
Just hover over this.
Mm-hmm.
Click on it. Let's see if we've got the. Yeah. Okay. Let's have a look. Yes, we have got the. We have got the frequency set. We need to make sure it's set on the other analysis too. So if we can close this. Okay. And let's just check this one as well. This is completed now that we have the best cell. Let's look at that and see if we've got the frequency selected there. I don't think we have. Okay. Maybe I set it in here. In fact, I think I did because it's named that way. Right. So what we've done now is we've run to analysis, and within that analysis we have grids. Okay. So these are specific grids. If we click on, for example, drops, and then just deselect this polygon so we get a clearer view.
Okay.
Okay. So you can see within this area, as you would expect, we're now showing 50-meter bins. Okay. We're showing the 50-meter bins with drops in it, which is good. I'm going to show you a very basic level of analysis now. Normally we would go into that drops and we would find out the RF conditions. So we don't know what the drops are, but right now I'm going to look at RF conditions. And I'll show you exactly how I'm going to do that. So we set the end cell best RF KPIs to 1. So when we look at these cells here, just click one of these, deselect best cell, just select RSRP. Okay. Right. So we binned the RSRPs in this particular one here. So we can see the RSRP for all of this. We can see drops, we can see RSRPs. I want to find an area where I'm suffering drops because of low RSRP. And I could drill around over that, or I could look at the map and find that area. Alternatively, I could use the analysis generator to do it for me. So let's click on the analysis generator.
Drop in the map.
No. Just open the. No need to drag and drop. Just open it.
Nothing.
Just double click it.
Right.
Okay. Right. Now what I want you to do is to move the analysis generator over so that I can see the map and the analysis generator.
Map.
All right. So you might want, if you want, just to increase, just drag these over here. Let's make the canvas bigger. So my laptop is absolutely dreadful. I can't see full. I don't know why I bought that laptop. Well, I didn't buy it. It was given to me. But it's a screen is just not big enough. So we can do that. Yeah, we've still got our old friend latency is with us. Oh, there you go. So my connection's dropped to the RDP, so it's just going to reconnect. I'm hoping somebody hasn't turned the server off.
Server. Thầy hiểu rồi. Tức là thầy muốn dùng cái bảng tính như này. Dùng cái bảng tính, nhưng mà trước khi muốn dùng cái bảng tính thì phải có kết quả phân tích.
Như vậy là có dụng gì cái đó.
Nghe chưa hiểu.
Ví dụ như có quá, phủ đây. Sau đó mình sẽ tính trải nghiệm nguyên nhân gì
Great stuff. All right.
Trước khi tính toán
So our analysis generator is lurking around here. Oh, there it is. Yeah, that's fine. Right. So again, that's it. Yeah, just try and shrink this here to give us a bit of space if you can. Okay. And now you can drag the map over. What I want to see is not the map. I want to see the analysis that I put in the map. Okay. All right. So the first thing you're going to do is filter the analysis generator. What I want you to do is to use the polygon. Drag the polygon into the area mask. So find your polygon by scrolling up. It'll be up here somewhere.
More delay. Delay.
Yeah, latency might stop in a second now. So up there somewhere you will find the, yeah, there we go. Just going to do what I'll do. I'm just, for the benefit of all, I've got latency on my connection. We've seen it sometime this week. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to swap VPNs and try and come in from a different gateway. So I'll just, the screen will drop a second, and I'll let you know when I'm done.
Ví dụ mà ví dụ đợt thì nó xem là bằng bao nhiêu, cơ bản hai cái mục hết km trên km. Tôi sẽ cứu được ra. Nhưng mà ra cái gì thôi là cái quản lý hay là xem cái động nào nữa còn bao nhiêu.
Got even worse latency if I
Sao bây giờ có nghĩa là bây giờ mình đang lấy cái volume 4G kể cho volume 3G, sau đó anh xem mật độ là hiện tại 4G 3G nhiều hơn. Xem tức là xem tổng là từng pin á, tính từng pin một. Vậy là đây là kiểu như là correlate của những cái biên á, và tương quan với nhau và cái công thức gì đó. Và middle area là đâu volume.
Okay, I've still got a fair bit of latency on this system, but I'm just going to have to run with it. We'll have to be very careful when we're moving things around. So, back to the analysis. So, what we need to do now is to find our polygon, which is up here somewhere, and put the polygon into the window.
Đó, đầu tiên là cái rốt vào đây, không, từ từ, đầu tiên là polygon trước, đây là
ok.
Okay, so you've got this exactly right where this is going. So what we've done is we've selected the polygon. Now we're going to drop the analysis or the grids that we've created into the generator. So click on that grid there and drag it into there.
Okay.
Excellent. So now this analysis generator references the data we got in that grid. So now scroll down here. All right. What I'm going to do now is look at RSRP. Okay. So we just click the grid.
Click on
the grid. Right. Excellent. So now we've got the two analyses that we're going to compare. What I'm going to say to the analysis generator, generate me a grid of the drops where the RSRP is below a certain level. So remember, I've got the count here. So I've got the count here, okay, and then the RSRP in a per bin basis. So the first thing I'm going to do is click on drops, click that here, it will appear in the expressions box.
Okay. Click.
Yeah. Oh. Okay. So that's going to pull back the data from the table drops. And okay. And best cell where it's greater than or equal to. Yeah. Okay, just scroll for greater than or equal to a value. Let's say minus 110. Minus 110.
100
minus 110. 110.
110.
Okay, so basically what that's going to say is wherever I've got RSRP values above, lower than that level, we say greater because it's actually greater than the number, but really it's lower. It's going to show me now, it's going to give me an output on the grid. So if you just scroll down here again, on the right hand side, and hit go.
Cái này nó muốn ánh xạ những cái cục mà lớn hơn 500 bằng.
Okay. If we scroll down a little bit further, we get some more information. Scroll down.
Kéo xuống để xem.
Okay. So you can see it's completed. It took 36 milliseconds. Fantastic. And now I have an output grid. Okay. So it's told me here that how many bins I've got and my values in here. So the min value is 1. So we're going to find 1 drops here below that level. But drag that grid now back into the map canvas. Okay, so now what I need to do is just deselect these two here.
Okay.
And now if you just drag the map in so we can see it, now you can see that we've produced an analysis that's given us the pertinent data that we want. Right? So you're the guys that can say, well, these are the thresholds I want to have in my network. I'm going to combine these two analyses to show me the areas of interest. Okay.
Tức là cái phần này thì ý của thầy là mình có thể so sánh cộng trừ hoặc là dùng các cái phép tính logic để tính toán các cái tham số của các tham số mà khi mà mình phân tích được. Thì em thấy là thầy thực hiện một cái bài phép toán của thầy là gì nhỉ?
Em toán là tìm những cục drop mà có RP là lớn bán hơn, lớn 110.
Thôi mọi người nghe luôn.
You want to see the values in here, which are only going to be 1. Then actually you can use the raster at another point. Yeah. So we had 1 drop in that bin under those conditions. Now, like I say, I just picked an arbitrary value. You might want different values to that. You can actually use different analysis. That's just an example. Anything with a grid, you can drag into there, and you can manipulate that by building your own expression. Okay, that is quite a complex subject, and you can spend a lot of time doing that. The book references some outdated analysis, but it doesn't really matter because, like I say, anything that produces a grid on a raster, you can use in the generator or the optimization.
Sorry. Optimization.
Cái gì chẳng hạn.
Go home. My apologies. Yeah. So the grid calculator is the other way of doing that. No, the analysis generator, you can also use multiple analysis and tables. Okay. So it is a little bit more complex. So if you find the analysis generator again, wherever that's been hidden, it's beyond here, isn't it? Just go through here. Let's see if we can find it.
Left
or right?
No.
Here we go. Yeah. So this is our output grid. If you scroll up to the top, keep going. Yeah. So you can see here, you can use grids and tables and expressions to generate the analysis that you want to see. So it's quite a powerful tool, but it does rely on you understanding what analysis you have in Geo before you start running the analysis. Only by using the other analysis and building up your knowledge of that analysis, that then allows you to generate your own analysis and interact with that generator.
Cái tool của mình là sử dụng các cái phép tính vậy, còn cụ thể cái giá trị trừ giá trị nào chắc anh sẽ nắm được đó. Nhưng mà mình sẽ có một cái tool để mình thực hiện các cái phép toán, các phép so sánh, hoặc là nó cũng chính là một cái bộ lọc đấy, để mình tìm ra được những cái giá trị mà mình cần tìm. Nó logic giữa hai cái giá, nó sẽ có những cái logic giữa hai cái giá trị.
Tham số này em không rõ.
Không, để em thử.
Yeah, so you can see that there's actually no data in that. Oh, sorry, there is. My apologies. Yes, there is.
Hello, sir. What about the question in this morning? How can I export PDF file? Can you how PDF format? Can you find it?
Sorry, say again.
About this question, the question in this morning, he asked about how to export PDF.
Oh, yeah, he did. Yeah.
PDF.
And I haven't found out yet. So I'll find out tonight, and I will.
Okay.
I will leave.
Trước sáng anh có hỏi cái câu về export cái file PDF ạ. Tối nay thì thầy sẽ về thầy kiểm tra rồi mai thầy sẽ phản hồi mình. Không biết anh nào phải kẹo.
Tiếng.
It may be.
Okay.
It may be I got that wrong and you can't. Maybe.
Okay.
But I in my head, I thought, well, I'm sure there's a button there to export PDF, but I can't see it.
Okay. Như vậy tôi có gì mai sẽ phản hồi anh như vậy. Sáng anh.
So please, if you want to compare any other analysis that you've got there, then it's fine.
Sao không được ta?
And again, you should be able to right-click and zoom to data extents. There you go. Yeah. You right-click, zoom to data extents. There you go. Sometimes when you operate the analysis generator, you can come up with a Boolean result where it's either 1 or no. It's either yes or no. What will happen at that point is the analysis generator will give you an output for yes and an output for no. What you'll have to do at that point is to edit the legend, say, to take the color out of the no, and that way you get the yes. So when you get a Boolean output, it covers all those grids, because the output of a Boolean is either a 1 or 0, right? So the analysis generator doesn't know whether you want the 1 or the 0, right? So when it actually puts that output, it will cover all the squares, and then you edit the legend to remove the zeros, and at that point you get the 1s. Does that make sense? No? So I have a grid, right? One here, 50-meter grid. And I want to say to the analysis, show me where an event occurs. So the event is either a yes or a no. In the bin, it'll either be yes, there's an event, or no, there isn't. Okay, but I've told it to show me where this occurs, and the analysis generator will then color all the bins because it doesn't know whether I want to see the 0 or the 1, effectively. So what we do is in the legend, we take out the 0. That leaves us the 1. So whenever you have a Boolean output, a yes or a no, you would need then to manipulate the legend to see the results. Okay. Well, this is not a Boolean output, right? So basically, I've got the drops here, and then best cell where I have a condition. Yeah. So I don't have a Boolean output here. I actually have something in there. The book explains it better than me.
Rồi. Cái này anh làm cũng mở khác cái nãy mà anh cũng đặt 91 ô gì chăng hả?
Đa số nhỉ?
Ý là cái điều kiện của anh khác hồi nãy nhưng mà lớn hơn 10 là 91 ô giờ làm 330 cũng 91 ô.
Được. Anh thử thay 140 xem nào.
Phải, cơ bản mình thay
clip rồi. Hay là cái giá trị nó nhỏ.
The book also tells you a better way to look at Booleans, and there may be that I'm showing some Boolean results here actually, but the book there says about encasing your expression in brackets and then multiplying the expression by 100, and that will stop it from being a Boolean result. That's what the book tells you. That's actually in the book.
How long is the book? Yeah.
điều kiện đó.
So for the benefit of the audience on the bridge, we're examining the grid calculator / analysis generator. And we're looking at a way to stop the output being written as a true or false. Okay? Because it's just occurred to me here that this may be a true or false condition. So we could actually try that by adding in this in here. So ignore the fact it's different analysis. But if we build the expression using this and that multiplier, let's see if that changes the results for us. See if we have a Boolean result here or not.
Thử cái công thức này. Nhưng mà mình có cái giá trị quan trọng mình có
chứ.
Go back to your analysis generator.
Có thể kêu quay lại cái gì?
Quay cái bảng tính toán của mình nhé. Không mất này. Cho đấy.
Có đó, mình ấn tắt rồi.
Anh tắt rồi. Mở lại lên.
So you can build that up now. Try and build it up as directed in the manual.
Ủa cái nó phải lái ra cái kia trước
Đó. Sao?
ý là phải lái ra cái kia trước.
So hopefully you can
cái
see
kia-
now
cái
why
kia
I
từ
didn't
trong này ra
start with this at the beginning of the week.
Không cái này là cái này
Thì phải kéo từ trong này ra mày.
hiện lại chưa có cái là anh phải lái
Tức là chưa có mình phải chạy cái đấy đúng không? Cái đấy nó là cái gì?
cần lái trực tiếp không ta?
Hả?
Cần lái trực tiếp không?
Xem nó có gì? Xem đây nó có gì?
Sale evidence.
Mình đang chạy giấy
một bao nhiêu đấy? Nặng một bao nhiêu?
59 đấy ạ. Trang 5 ngày 9 ở quyển 2. Best sell ái KPI nhỉ?
If you are following
Best
this in the
sale.
book, we are
Best
in
sale.
the
Có.
book
Đây, đây,
two
đây,
in
đây.
section
Mình lại
5.4
lái trong đây rồi.
using Boolean
Đấy rồi,
expressions.
đấy rồi, có chỗ này không có best sell ái KPI. Đấy là chỗ nào nhỉ, phần nào đây nó lại không có cái cây
Cái này nè.
rồi ok kéo xuống xem có cây ấy
Có cái này sale.
best sell
Không có.
thế giờ phải là best sell ái KPI cơ, không có cái chữ ng đấy. Cái vendor sẽ Hello sir, I cannot find best sell at KPI.
Correct. Some of this analysis has been deprecated since the book. So that's why I used this here, so you didn't have to follow the book exactly.
Ok. Anh bảo là xem trong cái sách này có thể không đúng. Có những cái không đúng. Có những cái nó đang kiểu chưa cập nhật đấy. Ok.
Ủa nhắn cái trước thì là cái anh kêu qua.
Cái từ cái khác đi.
Yeah, when we move from Oracle to Nitro, some of the analysis we evaluated the usage of the analysis, and either we dropped it rather than spend development effort developing something that only 0.5% of people were using. So that's why some of the analysis drops out.
Thì mình tìm cái khác vậy. Nhưng mà thực ra những cái công thức này là để hiểu được, là để hiểu được thì mình biết là cái công thức này mình làm gì.
You can combine within one analysis too. If you look at this, brilliant, right? So that's why I used the specific tables that I did, so we didn't have to go through this process. But you can use my analysis, but use the brackets as it's equally. You could look in the RF KPIs and just use the RF KPIs in lieu of this, because we've got CQI and RSRP in the best sell analysis that we already run, right? So you can see it there, the nth best sells, RSRQ and RSRP. So you could substitute those. You could say, and really what you're doing there is you're showing me, if I use the RSRQ and RSRP, pull them into the analysis generator, and I say, show me plots where the RSRQ is low, but the RSCP is high. And then and if you do it this way, so we don't have the Boolean result, because that's a true or false situation. If you do it this way, then what that will do, the output analysis will show you effectively where you're being interfered, where you're suffering pollution. Because if you've got low RSRQ, but high RSRP, then other cells are interfering with the signal quality. So that way you can look at those areas by comparing those two analyses in the analysis or grid calculator.
Mình cũng chưa hiểu cái tham số nào trừ đến cái nào này. Cái ý nghĩa gì ấy, mình chưa biết.
Yeah, so there's nothing stopping you simulating that analysis in there by using these two values here. If you wanted to do that, if you wanted to say, find me somewhere with low RSRQ where I've got high RSRP and build an expression for that, then yeah, you can do that.
Thầy dùng hai cái này. Để con cái nó chậm, nó chỉ để đến đây thôi, nó chỉ để đến đây cho gọn hết lên này là dần kéo cái IP
Vòng to lên.
The condition itu. Condition hai itu. If the expression RSRP, what's the expression?
Well, you're going to use both of these values here. So click on RSIQ. So at this point we can say greater than or equal a value. So what would you classify as poor, really poor RSIQ? Let's say, let's call it 115, right? But I think probably worse than 112. So you want it greater than or equal to minus 115. Try that. So we can use this here. Yeah. Oh, you've done it, yeah. 115 minus 115.
Tức là tìm
And so what? Yeah. So what's a good value for RSRP? So I'm looking for somebody that's dropping calls in good RSRP, bad RSRQ, which will show the polluted areas. So let's call that the dBm. Let's say minus 80. Yeah.
90. Tức là ông có phải là có những cái cuộc gọi nó bị rốt ấy, mặc dù cái IP nó cao và nhưng cái 90 thì để cho 90. 19, right?
So now remember that what we're really doing now is we need to start looking at this. This will be a Boolean output, right? So what we need to do is to construct the expression where we do that multiplication by. So that's where the brackets come in. Okay. So it doesn't matter about the analysis, but the brackets and the multiplication.
Có dấu.
Chị hồi nãy em làm cái
Không được ra một cái. Cái này cái công thức này. Sao không nhớ nhỉ? 59. Đúng không? Hai dấu ngoặc đúng không? Ok. Giữa là có n rồi. Ok, anh thử chạy xem. Rồi. Complete.
Không chiến máu lẫn trận hiển theo cái trí anh không hiểu nữa.
Thử sâu trên map xem là
Did you multiply that? So we go back. Did you actually have the multiplication factor in here?
hai hoặc
Không, từ từ.
Tức là phải đưa ra kết quả. Đây là kết quả. Nhân như Excel là cái gì?
Anh không hiểu cái đây này, không được gì.
Anh để thêm hai đó. Nhân cái Excel.
Không hiểu.
So this bit really is like being back at school, isn't it?
Cái này này.
Anh nghĩ cũng được.
Các bạn là không hiểu là không biết cần để làm gì ấy. Nhưng mà đây điều kiện 1 này, điều kiện 2 này, cái này là cái gì?
Chị có tự nhiên nha. Okay.
Did you multiply it? Did you multiply it by the value here? So you build the expression up here, yeah, and then you want to multiply that whole expression 100 times whatever values the RSRP, right? That will give you the non-Boolean output.
Không thực nét cho nó quay.
Đây này, tức là nó chỉ cần đến hết cái này thôi là đã sâu ra được cái cua. Tức là nó cũng không cần là sau rồi hiển thị nữa. Cái nhân là gì nhỉ?
cái nhân này là anh đang nghĩ là hắn muốn hiển thị cái base cell đi ra luôn, có nghĩa nhưng mà hắn không phải là cái đây này mà đây nó giá trị 1 0 rồi nè. Ví dụ như hắn nếu mà nhân ra đây là hắn sẽ ra những cái giá trị 1 đó với cái mức thu như đây, theo đang nghĩ như thế, đúng không?
Thực ra nhé, cái
Đây
điều
này.
kiện một
Kết quả của cái path đầu tiên là chỉ là 0 hoặc 1 này, true hoặc false này. Chạy nhưng mà cơ bản chạy thôi, cái
nó cứ ra giống một giá trị, nó cứ ra đúng một cái giá trị mãi không thay đổi.
đạo rồi.
My bad, you're not multiplying by 100 there. To do that, I've written the expression here. What I believe the expression to be is on the board. Did you manage it?
Còn đang ghi máu ôm mà đang chuyển tùm lum ta.
I think you did, didn't you? Yeah, great stuff. So if you hover over the output grid, hover over the legend. So there you go. This will be your.
Nếu mình nhân thì nó sẽ ra cái gì luôn.
It will look like your.
Hình như cái mốt là cái gì vậy, chứ không phải cái pin.
Values. Okay.
Không phải chỉ một cái pin đúng không? Đây là cái phép tính ra cái output là cái gì mình đang không hiểu. Thì phải nhớ là cái phép tính đấy thì cái kết quả là cái gì?
Right. So every square there is a drop. Well, that's what it's trying to tell me. Or at least it should be. Can I have a look at your expression? Just check. Thanks. Oh yeah. Oh, okay. So it's giving me the blah, blah, blah. All right. Yeah. Okay, so these are squares where I have 4 RSRQ and good RSRP. That's fine. Got that. So effectively in this grid here, the value I've got here. Okay, so I'm sure the output grid here is telling me, because I should have a, well, it's no longer a Boolean value, but I have got red and blue squares, which I don't believe. Okay, I'm not sure exactly what results we've got here, but let me have a look a little bit closer. So I do have variable values in there. So is that the bin count? That's a good question. No, they're particular values here. So, all right, so there's our minus 90 in there. So perhaps we can change this in here. So what I've got is the minus and above. Perhaps I can show that as less than or equal to. Let's try that. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Right, so I've got a greater than or equal to minus 90. Let's try a less than, see what happens. Try it again.
Ủa, hình sự cái gì đó
Hay mình lớn hơn nhiều cái kia.
I see. Yeah. Let's look at the latency. Look. This is actually something really quite worth exploring. So if you want to run some more of this, we can try and generate some more analysis.
Đang sử dụng tính toán, tức là mình có những cái giá trị khác nhau ở trong kết quả của mình phải sử dụng các giá trị để tính toán cộng trừ nhân chia hoặc là
anh chỉ nhận correlate nhiều tham số cùng cái pin theo một công thức. Ví dụ như một cái chỗ nó xuống thấp là nó có thể là cái hàm ví dụ CQI hay là RSP này để nó lọc ra những cái vị trí theo mình phân tích. Ví dụ hai vị trí được kém theo công thức mình,
tức là mình có thể logic những cái tham số khác nhau lại, mình logic tham số khác nhau lại để
mình analyze
về này mình phân tích.
Tức là nhưng mà nó có thể kém cả RS, RSP hoặc kém một trong hai thì
thấy cái độ bộ lọc của anh lọc ra những cái vị trí.
I'll investigate this calculation because it's giving me some data here that I don't understand. So I'd have to have a deeper investigation into this output just to make sure that we've got the right expression in here. But you can see, like I say, you can see why I didn't start off with this analysis, because it's slightly more.
có cái hướng dẫn analyze Excel nhé, Excel thì nó ranking trên các cái phương pháp này, average, best ISP, best ISQ, rồi lại NAV, with weight, average based on frequency, sim the bin. Thế là Excel mình đã thường xuyên xuất hiện trong cái bin. Và
okay, it looks like latency has killed my ability to view this. I'll try and should be able to maximize this here, but I can't. Oh, there you go. No. I'm just going to save this analysis here. Okay. And let's see if I can save this here. Okay, so the connection problems are causing me a few issues here. I'm just going to have to log off this, close this document down. Yeah, you can see it's not even updating. Look. See if I can find another VPN. Right, shortly, guys. Again, I'm going to try another VPN connection. We're coming up to the end of the day anyway, so, but I'll still attempt to. I'm trying to think which is the best one to try. I'm looking at the time and trying to work out who's asleep. Let me try Bucharest. Let me try Bucharest.
Anh sẽ nói là hỏi này.
Okay, let me just close this down. All right, I'll have to look at your
Ba phương pháp mình đưa là best sell.
okay, let's try here.
Thì sao để tính cái best sell? Best sell này. Thì cái best sell này nó là dựa trên thông số nào của ba hay là thông qua
I'm not sure this is any better, but we'll try it again. So we had okay, polygon in.
Chưa phải như này. Có lại là một cái best sell, một cái pin
Okay, I've connected via a different VPN. I've still got a fair bit of latency, so we're just looking at this analysis builder once more. So I'm just going to copy the analysis in. Okay.
Tính toán một số cơ này trên mặt sau đó được những bạn đi trong cái khoảng thời gian ví dụ trong một ngày một cái tín hiệu của xe nó bắn tới cổ nó là 50 thì nó sẽ lấy 50 là bắt xe, nhưng mà trong một ngày nhiều xe thì nó sẽ xem xét mức độ trung bình tín hiệu của xe nào là tín hiệu thì nó sẽ không là ý bạn là cái Excel này là lấy một trong ba phương pháp này thì tổng hợp cả ba một trong ba còn lại chọn một trong ba cái này có hết rồi không? Nhưng mà cái này lại cái lượng mình chọn là như thế nào? Nhưng mà cái Excel này của em như này cái đi hết rồi cái lực đi trong cái Excel ví dụ như Excel mà pin ok rồi đúng không? Excel theo ba pin rồi nhưng mà cái Excel không anh không hiểu là viết như thế nào mình nghe là hay là cách gì để tổ hợp cả ba này luôn Excel nhưng ở khi về cho không sử dụng phải đọc lại nên mà lại có cái dễ thầy nói thêm
All right, so here we have the output again. So I redid the analysis, and then we've got the output grid here. So that's giving me the stages here. I think they are. So that to me looks like maybe it's not giving me the only the RSRQ values that we were after. So I said less than or equal to, so greater than or equal to minus 14. What it appears to be giving me is all the values there of RSRQ. I have to have a little bit look at this in the hotel to see why, but so basically what I'm saying here is the areas that are coloured blue are the areas where I have yeah. If I look at the grid here, so the areas, well, green and blue. So we could actually remove these out if we wanted to, just to show the lower values. But I would have expected the lower values to be the only ones present. So I'll have a little look at this in the hotel and see exactly what we've done wrong to get all of these values. But that is the essence of it. you're combining two analyses. And like I say, it is a little bit complicated, but then it's going to be because we're having to generate our own analysis from the two. So we have to come up with a valid expression. And like I say, that's really one of the reasons why I don't introduce this at the beginning of the week. You can see. Do you want to try anything else in the expression? Well, we're coming up to 4:30 now, right? So we'll revisit this in the morning. Yeah.
Chủ yếu thầy giới thiệu thôi, còn mấy cái này thì
Okay, so that's the analysis generated covered. Have you got one question?
Here a question about the best cell. We have three methods to at the best cell vào the research is best cell RFP follow to RFP, right? The best cell RFP follow to RFP method.
So all these are set basically to energy. Okay, so that's the default parameter. You can change that to look at it the other way. Look at it in a different way. So this is the best cell analysis. So when I hover over that raster, it's going to give me a cell that's considered the best. Okay, I've got P in here, remember. So what I'm actually going to do, the default analysis here is set to 2, so it doesn't give you one.
Question. Yeah, you have 3 options. 4 options. Best cell RFQ, best cell RFP. Okay, understand. But the best cell is the mean the cell in the bin fulfill three conditions, right? Yeah, I read here, but I understand the best cell based on which condition.
Okay, gotcha. Right. So when we look at the ranking parameter, which is here in P, okay, that's when we get the drop down that offers those 3 here. So the default is energy.
Default,
energy. Default is energy. So that is the report or the value of the best cells RSRQ average. That's the best cell RSRP average. So if we click on that, we get the values, right? If we click on the best cell, then we need to try and decide how we're going to make that the best cell in the bin. And the default condition is energy. So these bit here are not relevant to that bit there.
Em hiểu rồi. Cái đây là cái name thôi.
Yeah.
Cái này anh em hiểu là em dựa anh như này. Có nghĩa là cái này á, là khi anh view này là anh view mức thu của cái cell tốt nhất này theo cái bi, được chưa? Là cái này là anh theo cái lesion như này, được chưa? Còn cái này á là anh view cái tên cell, được chưa? Mà cái tên cell đây này, mà cái tên cell á là anh theo cái parameter default như này. Theo cái này.
Energy, đúng rồi, thầy vừa nói là energy.
Có nghĩa là nếu mà anh train cái này á thì thằng base cell nó cũng sẽ train theo.
Đúng rồi, thì lúc đầu ấy là anh nó có 3 cái condition thế này thì anh tưởng là nó fulfill cả 3, nhưng mà thầy
không phải, không bao giờ có 3 được. Sau khi thầy có 3 được
không theo cả 3 được.
Đúng rồi, nó sẽ bị conflict nhau rồi.
Mình thay đổi ở trong này thì ngoài này nó thay đổi,
sẽ đổi theo cái tên cell của theo cái tiêu chí energy.
So you may have in that bin one cell with the values which are
by default.
Yeah. Okay, any questions? Okay, thank you very much, guys, and thanks for all of you who ran the analysis. Thanks remotely. We'll pick up in the morning with our last session. So what I plan to do tomorrow is just take a little bit more look at reporting and some of the administrative functions of Geo. That's what I plan tomorrow, and I'll leave plenty of time for questions. I hope you're asking questions. Yeah, that's tomorrow.
Buổi ngày mai thì thầy sẽ tiếp tục học vào cái phần report và những cái function nhỏ của trong Geo nhé. Thì anh chị nhớ đến tham gia đủ.
Yeah.
Tomorrow you can show us something about
Yeah, that's what you want to see. Tell you what, why don't I do this? Okay, there's a board, there's a pen. If you want to see something tomorrow, write it on the board, yeah? So we'll put it indoor, outdoor. Okay, anything else you want to see, write it there. So I can just explain to the guys we'll have a mock-up session tomorrow. If they want to see anything, questions, you want to see something done, write it on the board. Thanks, guys. So we're just closing down now. Tomorrow we just had a little bit of guidance from one of the candidates who'd like to look at indoor-outdoor analysis. So what I've done is I've said to the candidates, okay, there's the whiteboard. Why don't you write on there what you want to see? Okay. So the guys are doing that now. I've got at least one question on there. So first thing in the morning, we'll cover off some admin functions, some basic quality checks before you start to use Geo, and then we'll mop up by 11:30 with the training session. And look, thanks very much for attending. It's often a little bit difficult to attend remotely on these courses when you can't actually see what's happening in the classroom. So thanks very much for your patience, and I hope to see you online tomorrow, and have a great evening. Bye.